Okay, PoA, we are back with problem number 3. Now, this is one that we didn't get to practice a lot in class. So, this one's really going to stretch you to kind of think about how these word phrases, these verbal phrases, are going to transfer to an actual algebraic expression. So, if you watch the last movie or remember from class, we're just talking about something that's not quite an equation because we don't have an equal sign or can solve it, but it has like the coefficients and it has the variables and has the multiple terms being added or subtracted. So it looks going to look very equation-like, but not quite an equation. So let's just jump into it. So we need to write something that says four more than 3 times the number b. So if you kind of think about the order which this is implying, it's actually saying, well, we're going to take 3 times the number b first, and then we're going to take 4 more than that. So we have to kind of translate some of these things into workable symbols. 4 more, well, that's going to be like a plus 4. And 3 times the number b, well, that's going to be like 3b. So these things that we can transform from verbal to these more mathematical looking things, if we do an analysis first, well, it's pretty obvious how we're going to write it. We have this 3b, and we're going to take 4 more than that. Boom, there we go. Okay? So we're going to take that kind of format, and we're going to push it out to all of these. So let's look at part B. 3 less than a number divided by 6. Well, 3 less, well, that implies like a minus 3. A number divided by 6, it's not telling me what kind of number to pick or how to represent it. So we're going to use a variable, but in this case, a variable is going to be my choosing. So 3 less than a number divided by 6. A number divided by 6, I'm just going to say like n over 6. So 3 less than n over 6, so that should be n over 6 minus 3. Okay, so not too bad once you kind of realize you can break down the number more logically, or the statement more logically. 4 less than a number, take the result divided by 3. So 4 less than a number, well, 4 less is minus 4 than a number of my choosing. I'm going to use x. So we're going to have x minus 4 for this part. Then it says to take the result divided by 3. So then divided by 3, I'm going to use as like a fraction. So it's going to look like that. So it says take this and then divide by 3. So I'll take that, x minus 4. Put in parentheses to make sure it looks like it's going to be together. And take the result and divide it by 3. Boom, Bob's your uncle, there it is. So again, the key here is to kind of think about the phrase ahead of time. I would suggest doing what I did and write the pieces above the sentence, and that might give you a sense of what to write so you can focus on the order in which to write it. 2 more than a number, take the result and multiply by 2. So 2 more than a number would be n plus 2. And then take the result, like the whole thing, and then multiply by negative 2. So that's going to be like a times negative 2. So I put these pieces together. I'm going to have like a negative 2 times an n plus 2. Okay, it doesn't matter what variable you use. I'm just using use n because it said number, n for number. If a case of Pepsi cost X and the price per can of Pepsi is some expression I got to write, well, so if the case of Pepsi, I'm just using a small example, a different example, how we kind of make sense of it. So if let's say the cost of like a dozen eggs is like $2, and there are 12 eggs in the batch, and I want to know what's the cost per egg. Per meaning division, which is kind of what that symbol is going to look like for us for a fraction. So if I take $2 and divide it by 12 eggs in the bunch, that should get me the cost per egg. Okay. Kind of in the same way that, like, let's say you bought wow, alarm going off aside. Sorry about that. So let's say you bought like a 10 pack of something, and it cost you $10. And I asked, well, how much does each one cost? Well, it's going to cost $1, but the calculation ends up being like 10 divided by 10. If I say you bought a 3 pack of socks and it cost you $6, how much does each sock cost? Well, that's going to be $6 total cost divided by total amount. So if you want the cost per, we're going to take total cost, money, over total things, and that should be the cost per thing. So the total cost for a Pepsi case costs X dollars. So that's going to be like the total money. That's going to be X. And the case has 24 things in it. So X over 24, that's what we're looking at for that. So let's look at the next one. Movie costs D and you go to N movies. Well, if a movie costs D dollars and you go to N number of movies, well, let's use an example first to kind of work it out in your head. How would you calculate this? So let's say you went to two movies and each of those movies cost you $4, which I know is really cheap. Maybe you went during the day. Who knows? So two movies, $4 each. I hope you guys can see that that would totally be $8. Let's do another one. Let's say you went to five movies, a movie day for the whole work week, and each movie cost you $10, which is a little bit closer to reality. How much would that cost? Well, $50. So now you should ask yourself, well, how am I taking this 2 and this 4 and making an 8? How am I taking this 5 and this 10 making it 50? Because that's going to tell you what to do with this D and this N. So 2 and 4, 8, 5 and 10, 50, that's a multiplication problem. So if I take D dollars times N number of movies, that should be my total cost. Okay. So think about some words that kind of go along. Uh, some words or phrases that kind of go along with each of these things. Now I saw some people kind of cheating it a little bit, and they were just putting the symbols down. But if you kind of go back and evaluate the things above, besides like the obvious ones like add, subtract, multiply, or divide, if I use a phrase like less than, or more than, or per, like those all indicate uh, an operation. So that's maybe what you want to put down here. Like if I have a phrase like more than, or less than, or per, or times, these are all things that indicate a certain operation needs to be taking place. Okay? So that's all I have for this particular problem. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, and we will resume in problem number, what's that, 4? All right, see you in problem number 4.